God, I have too much. I have too many toys.
Yeah, that's such a huge problem to have, isn't it, Dwayne? Hey, if you got this part of the video, you've got the live unedited edition, Home Gadget Geeks, Thursday night, August 31st, 2017. If you got this part of the video at any other time than that, just it's okay. You've got the recorded version. We usually edit these down, not much, but we take this part off and in the end, and we make them available on our YouTube channel as well over at theaverageguy.tv. So if you're catching this live, welcome. Lots of folks out in the chat room. We're starting a little late tonight for those of us who are joining live. Other Jim, Tony, Peter, Emily, Mike, Ken. Ken, great to see you on last week. That was pretty awesome. Got to hang out with Ken. Drank a whole bottle of wine, and he gifted me some beer. That was pretty cool. So thank you, Ken, for that. Rennie is out there as well. If you're listening live, hope we sound. If I can get a quick sound check in the chat room, I think that's Emily says looks and sounds good. So that's awesome. And if you don't regularly join us live, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central. I say that really fast. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, out at theaverageguy.tv/live. Just about every Thursday, except last Thursday we were at Podcast Movement. I'll talk a little bit about that when we get there. Yep, new glasses. I have new glasses indeed.
Yes, I'm wearing my Georgia Tech hat. I should go get my Alabama hat so I can straight up represent.
Maybe just stay in the Georgia Tech. It's good.
Yeah, what I'm supposed to officially.
We're not big Alabama fans.
Just officially, Roll Tide.
Go Big Red. That's what we say. Go Big Red.
Yeah.
Season starts. Hey, it's easy to be an Alabama fan right now. Easy to be Alabama fan.
Yeah, that's true. Wasn't always.
But. Yeah, no, not always, but most times Alabama's pretty good. So
yeah, they tend to consistently be decent.
Thanks, Emily. It was it's 4 years with the same pair of glasses, and they changed my prescription pretty severely, and I'm still trying. Dwayne, you know the deal. When you get a new pair of glasses, and for the first
you can see leaves.
Well, in some spots, like I can't read squat right now. The transitions, or whatever they call them. They call them.
You got transitions.
No, that's the wrong word. Progressives. Yeah, they're called progressive, right? Where it's not the typical bifocal, but they kind of act that way. My glasses had gotten so bad. I was looking at everything through the bottom lenses. And so they adjusted them. And when I got these, oh my gosh, I could not see anything for a week. It was just, a couple days, and it's just now starting to dial in. So I'm kind of excited about that.
I'm glad you're dialed in.
Yeah, it's super frustrating when you can't read your phone. Like, you're like, what?
That's not a good day.
No, you're just. I spend so much of my day on my phone.
So let's see. I think I've got everything ready here, Mr. Jim.
Okay.
I think so. Oh, and I actually do have a couple of toys. And by the way, afterwards, if you can hang out for a moment, not on audio, like podcasting, I need to chat with you about something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no sweat. We do a little post show. So if you can do post show and then a little bit beyond that.
Okay. Cool.
What was I going to say? Are you going to the meetup? You going to the last meetup ever?
Is it the last? Is it the last meetup?
It's the last meetup.
I do not know yet. I am. Do you know the official dates?
It's 30th. 30th of September. 30th of September.
I might be able to make it.
Let me double check that here. Yeah, 30th of September. Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to make it, and then work. I was able to schedule my work to be going through Indianapolis that weekend, so that was pretty cool.
Well, just to give you an idea, I have for the entire week, I have been getting up and starting my work day at 5 a.m. and finishing it at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, so, yeah, I don't even know that anything exists except my work.
That's it. Sometimes when you look for Big Blue, no, they don't. Stop what they call that.
Yeah, we don't say
Big Blue or the three-lettered. It's a three-lettered company.
Or the multicolored box, I guess. Yes. Four-color box.
What is the nickname for Microsoft?
Mickey?
Is there one?
Mickey D's. I don't.
You're pretty tired.
Slave driver. That's what
yeah,
it's
that's
called.
they've been keeping you busy. Hopefully you're engaged and love it, because it's that kind of work. I mean, I think you do. I think that's why you do it. It's because you love doing what you do. So.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Pretty cool. Okay, let's we got VR AR stuff or mixed reality stuff. You want to talk any about coin mining?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that, especially like as a value like how to offset the cost of your rig.
Yeah. You totally inspired me, by the way. I followed your recommendation, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
And I have like the recommended boxes for the ones that I'm using.
Nice.
And then, by the way, I will just ask I will probably ask if people are wanting to know what my opinion is of the Surface laptop in comparison to the Surface Book performance base, which I was using, and I have Surface Pro. So if there's I have an interesting opinion on this one that you might find cool. But anyway, so
those are three big topics. So we'll see. We'll do them in that order, and we'll see if we make it to the end.
We'll be quick about the Surface.
Like I said, I've got this jelly comb thing to cover up front for those guys. We'll do that and then kick it. Yep. Let me kick this thing off. And I think we're all set. Yeah, everything looks good. Here we go. Okay. This is the average guy. Whoops, sorry. There we go. Let's see, Ken, do you have a link to the earnings rate for each video card? No, Ken, I don't have a link. I actually did the manual work myself. I went out to each one of those sites. I went out to the NVIDIA site. I put the cards in. Here, I'll show you what I did. I wish I had a link. It would be great. Maybe I ought to put this together in the post if I have time. It's just written stuff right there. That's the cards. I went to each site, pulled the specs, pulled down their CUDA cores that are on there. And so, Ken, I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a link to it, but I don't.
Yeah, there was a website that I saw, Jim, that
actually there is.
Would go. It actually would say what was the profitable cards, based upon current value. Like what was the return rate on them?
Yeah, you know what I did? So I took the wattage. It's hard to see, but you can see here's the card. There's the cores. There's their maximum min and max, not min, temperatures. This is at what power they run and the max power that they run. And then I did a little calculation of what was the best power to core ratio. And
what's the max power for the 1070 GTX?
500 watts.
500 watts. So just to give you an idea, right now I'm not running the nice hash. I'm just doing this with you, and I'm sure that it's doing some little bit of work. I'm running about 80 to 83 watts.
Yeah. On the 1060?
That's on the 1070 GTX with that i7 X9, X series processor. So this, it's an interesting machine.
Yeah. Actually, the car, that 1080 is really the one. I mean, if you really want horsepower, that 1080 is a nice. It's expensive right now. I mean, that's the problem. I didn't factor in price, right? There's no price in this. These are just sheer numbers.
Well, there's another thing though, Jim, that I've completely forgot to call out, and that is the power supply.
Right. Yes.
Because the power supply, if you go to Tom's Hardware, they will tell you like what is some of the more efficient power supplies. And I ended up with this EVGA, which I put a link to it to you so that you've got it. But what you will see is they rate them like platinum and so forth level. And if the better the rating, the more efficient. And so I have a extremely efficient power supply in this particular rig, and in the other one, it's really not that efficient. But it's an i3 machine, so it's not pulling anywhere near the same amount of wattage. But it's an interesting thing. Here you go, after show banter, yay people. Think about your power supply. Anyway, so but the other thing I was told, which was good advice from a friend when I was going to do this, I was going to buy like a 1,200 watt power supply, and he said, don't do it. There's like some sort of PC configurator site that he had sent me over to, where you can make sure that all the parts are going to work together. And what I ended up doing is I ended up doing that and finding out, okay, sure, this power supply was highly rated. It was a good price point, and it was the most efficient. PC Picker, thank you.
Tony. That's Tony.
Way to go. See,
Good
everybody
job,
knows.
Tony.
And that's where I got the recommendation for the power supply, and that was actually really, really good. So, you know, big thumbs up for PC Picker.
Lots of stuff to think about when you're doing this, right? I mean, we used to just price PCs to get, you know, kind of the best value on processor, and yeah, if you gamed, you put a nice video card in there, but man, now all of a sudden there's a lot to think about.
Yeah, no, it is pretty, yeah, maybe PC part picker. So I will tell you that I think it's now harder to build one, because there's like, well, you got to have these configurations of things to make it all work. RAM wise, I did put a pretty decent set of RAM in it. I got that in there as well. So just,
I'll dig those out and put them in the.
Yeah, and I bought the RAM. I didn't know they did this. If you could see what this PC looks like, you would laugh, because I actually bought the Razer case. And I don't remember it's made by this company that just puts the Razer logo on it and everything. I think NZXT or something like that. This thing is crazy looking, because the motherboard that I bought has like the LEDs on it that do like a rainbow effect in there, and then the whole case glows like a Razer thing, all green and black, and then the MSI card actually has like it lights up, and the RAM even has LEDs on it to light up, so the whole thing is all lit up like a Christmas tree, and that goes right in with all of my other, you know, like Razer things, that Chroma stuff that I've got, including even mouse pads. So my wife said that my room looks like a dance club from the all the different things.
Simmons era.
And hey, I will tell you this: if you decide that you're going to go VR, well, never mind. When you decide that you're going to go VR, go ahead and look in your computer and buy yourself a 5-port USB 3.0 card. You're going to need it. All the USB plugs going in from all the sensors, and you don't want to put them on a hub because it's too much latency.
Okay.
So you'll need that.
Yeah, it's good advice.
You can get one for $30. It's not
that big
a deal.
I think I even have a 3-port sitting in my drawer. So
yeah,
but you said 5.
So think of it this way: so the headset's going to use it, and every one of the sensors. So I got 3 sensors, and I'm talking about going to 4. That's 5 right there. And then you got your camera, you got your mouse, keyboard, you know, any other accessories you have. Like my monitor has a hub built into it. So I also bought me a USB 3.0 hub from Amazon, just so I can have USB ports up here without having to. Yeah. But anyway, so it's just one of those things to kind of think about as you go through.
Yeah. No, a lot of you dropped some cash.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little bonus thing right here.
Yeah. Go.
Why do I think the Surface laptop is the best Surface product to buy?
Yep.
And I can say this because, you know, Jim, that I've had almost every Surface known to man, right? And I've used them in a lot of different scenarios. I'm going to rate these out for you in my favorite Surfaces. Pro is my least favorite for my use cases. So the Surface Pro is my least favorite. Mainly due to screen size. I do a lot of Visio, or I want to do a presentation when I'm on the road. Love it for light, small. You know, you want to go on bag diet, it's your machine. It's powerful enough to do everything, but it is not the machine that you want to type on. And I do a lot of typing of memos, emails, and everything else that you can imagine. You know, responses to quotes, you know, all that type of stuff. So my next favorite is the Surface Book with performance base, which I've had both non-performance and performance base. If you have the option between the two, the $100 difference is a light years difference because of the battery life. It's not the GPU. That doesn't really matter. It's actually the fact that you can get more battery life on the Surface Book than you will get with the Surface laptop. not much more, maybe an extra hour, but I mean, I guess an hour is a lot. But anyway, so they just know that that's the case. And I like that you can turn it around and you can sign documents really easy on it and things like that. And I actually still use it. It's kind of like my workhorse machine. So if I needed to, like, if you're going to do Visual Studio, this is the one for you, right? It is absolutely one for you. But that's not what I do. Jim, what did you say? I do a lot.
You travel a lot.
I travel a ton.
Mm-hmm.
A Surface Book with performance base weighs more than a Surface Book without performance base, and it's a little heavy in your bag. And so Surface Laptop, which is the one that I have, and I am running Pro on it because everybody's going to say, did you actually try to do the other? The reason I like it, and I've talked to numerous people, and people who do what I do, and like architects, almost every one of them says this is the one to get. And let me nail down the reasons why. The keyboard is better than a Surface Book. And if you've ever typed on a Surface Book, you'll know that that's a statement. Everybody talking about this Alcantara staining crap and putting Cheetos all over it. What they don't show you is that you can just wipe it right off. And the other thing, you know, just take a little damp cloth and you can wipe it off. But it not being cold to the touch is amazing. It isn't like, even though it's in color, which is nice to have some of the customization to it to give it a look, it's not obnoxious color and like slap you in the face. It's okay in a boardroom. And then you get into the fact that it just comes straight down to one thing. It is the most balanced machine I have ever had in my life, because and when I say that, I'm not talking about on your lap like Mary Jo is talking about. I'm saying it's because of the fact that when you talk about processing power, battery life, good screen, high resolution, fast, you know, it plugs in this dock and drives a 4K monitor. So I go dual screen with it. The way it sits on the table is perfect to type on. When you get all of those things together, if you do what I do, I can watch a movie, and it's like carrying the Surface Pro from a light perspective. You can't put it in the same bag, the little micro bag, because the screen's bigger. But when you're on the plane and you want to watch a movie, I'd actually prefer the bigger screen for the most part. If you travel as much as I do, you probably aren't sitting in coach, but you'll be in like comfort or something, so it's not that big a deal. But I will tell you that that is the reason. And the thing that is, I've never had a laptop this loud. I do every other machine I've had that's a Surface. You watch a movie in your hotel room, you will be, one, either putting on some headphones because it sounds like a tin can, or two, you will have to turn the volume to maximum to be able to hear it. This thing, you're at like 60% and it is louder than all get out. I don't know how they did it, but it is loud. So there's my whole thing. And
what was the retail on that?
$12.99. I would not buy anything bigger, faster. Okay. I do not hit a high end unless you are doing Visual Studio.
Give me the specs again. Which processor?
I have the i5, 8 gig of RAM with a 256 gig SSD, and it is absolutely perfect for my use case. It is, and even if you decide that you want to go with the workhorse, if you're going to get a workhorse, go Surface Book. I would encourage you to spend the money on the Surface Book if you need power, if you like processing power and grunt. I would encourage you that if you want a laptop and you want like the MacBook Air or the MacBook of Windows, it's this thing, and it's good. I mean, and I'm not saying that just because I work for Microsoft and everything. It's actually just a really great machine. But
you can't get that configuration right now at the Microsoft Store. So the i5s are only available in 4 gig and 128 gig RAM. So
so yeah, the blue, and if you try to get a blue one, it's hard to get. It's because I'm telling you, if people who have bought the higher end ones, they'll be like, it's not worth the money, it's expensive. But $12.99 is really not that bad for this level of laptop. And I'm telling you, you're not gonna, for the average user, they're not going. I mean, I work for Microsoft. This is what I do. and I don't use it that well. And I tell you, even though it's just a subtle thing, like when you're opening the lid on it, and as the lid is opening, it's turning it on to get ready for the camera. It is almost, when you open it, it's logging you in already, and it's kind of a trick, but it's a good trick. That works pretty much perfectly. Trackpad, I didn't, 9 times out of 10 I won't even pull a mouse out of my bag. That's a big deal for me. So again, I'm telling you, it's an amazing machine. You can write on it with a pen and a pinch. I only use that whenever I sign a document or something anyway, and I just use the pen for one of my others. It works fine. So anyway, so that's Surface Laptop, boys and girls.
Yeah, there you go. Cha-ching in the post show.
Yeah, and by the way, that is the correct case, NZXT, and I gave you a link to the case that's for the computers. So there you go. There you have it.
There you got it.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing, mixed reality headset. If you get the Windows Developer Edition, you better get an Xbox controller, because that is how you control things in it, and I did not realize that. So you add the Xbox controller to the cost of the Windows mixed reality headset, and you're pretty darn close to an Oculus Rift, aren't you?
Yeah, you are at that point for sure.
So those are interesting topics.
Yeah, can you? It's interesting. I just need to mess with one. I need you to be at the meetup, so just make sure you get.
Are you sure that that's the date?
Yeah, September 30th.
It is September 30th. Okay, I'm looking right now, boys and girls. You're hearing it right here, right now. I am looking at schedules.
Let me pull up the link, the Home Server Show link. Let's see if we've got meetup registration.
September 30th.
Here's the blog post,
and that is the week before I go. Yeah, it's the week before I go to Mexico. So I had to check to make sure I'm not going to Mexico. Now I got to go over here to work calendar. My personal machine, I've decided, will never have my work calendar.
September 30th, 8 a.m., 5 p.m. will be at the Microsoft.
I'm wearing a hat. It doesn't
office location in there in Indianapolis. You've been there before.
Oh, the Microsoft office?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually had to work out of it before.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I did a lot of work with Allegiant out there.
I threw the link to the registration in the.
All right, Jim. Here we go. Will Dwayne be around for the 30th of September?
Suspense.
Oh crap! No. Oh well. You said it's the 30th.
30th, Saturday the 30th. Yeah.
What time?
8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But I'd take you any of the time that you're
there. Let me see what I can do. I'm actually in Vegas that week. So I fly back from Vegas in the morning, and I might be able to fly back, get in a car, and come. But
that'd be great. Ooh.
That's it's not so bad, because remember, I'm in Nashville now, so I don't have to start a drive.
How far is it from Nashville to?
I think it's about 4.5 hours to 5 hours. So if I came, I would be coming out to hang out. I wouldn't get there until you guys were already kind of done with the main thing.
No, we're there all day.
Yeah, I know you're there all day, but to set up the VR rig would take.
You could. Well, we got lunch.
You're like, we can do it. Please do it. I would have to tear it apart before I left and lose all that mining revenue.
Right. No, right on.
No, so you might have to give me $5.
Okay. I'll buy your first drink is on me. How's that sound?
Yeah, there you go. You have to pay for a beer, or I leave my mining rig running all week.
Can I tell you the value?
There you go. There's where people are going. Wait a minute.
A beer at the places we eat can be a little expensive, so we can all of that.
Well, and I'm a bit of a beer snob, so you know there's always that.
Right on.
So weather. You're a weather nerd.
Yeah, I am a weather nerd.
So that hurricane, remnants is all up in Nashville right now.
You getting a lot of rain right now?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was so late getting back, is I had to drive so slow coming back from my daughter's guitar practice, because the remnants of the hurricane is like coming through here and setting off tornadoes and all kinds of craziness. Really? It's just like a monsoon outside. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't imagine. So I used to live in Pasadena when I was a kid, which is, if you don't know where that is, it's near Houston. And so that's the reason
Pasadena, not Pasadena, California.
Yeah,
Pasadena, Texas.
Yeah, and so uh, that is the area of Houston that floods all the time. If you just like, if it, someone spits on the road, it floods there. So, because I remember when I was a kid, people picking us up in a boat from from the place where we were living. So anyway, I can't imagine how bad it's got to be over there right now. So,
50 inches of rain, like in 2 days.
I have been like, I told you, I've been working 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. all week, full on, not even eating. I mean, for the most part, living off Pop-Tarts and Coke Zero. And I haven't even paid any, I couldn't watch TV. I haven't watched TV all week. So I had no idea anything was going on, but I would hear about, this stuff when you fire up the web browser, and it's like the very first thing you see in the news stuff would be about the most I saw of it. I had no idea that it went up, went back down around, and hit them again.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So whew. And
it was nasty.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that. That's got to be like a weather amazing thing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, not like not in a good way. I'm just saying it's an anomaly type of thing. I feel bad for having lived there. I know how bad that can be.
For whatever reason, we have had the nicest August on record. I mean, it has been between 70 and 85 every day this month, and just pleasant. A little bit of rain while I was gone, but super pleasant. Usually Nebraska, August is the worst. It's hell here.
Yeah.
It is awful, and it's just been the nicest.
It just occurred to me. I've solved our problem, Jim.
Okay.
You're coming back to Nashville with me, because I have the rig here, and I have something that you would get a kick out of.
Oh, I have to fly. I have to fly to. Oh well, wait a minute. I'd have to get back because I fly out of Indy for DC.
We could figure this out. We can make this happen, Jim. I'll bring you down in the Jaguar.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
So yeah. So I'll let you drive the Jaguar now. We'll have plenty of time to do it.
I'm not impressed by cars, to be honest, but
it's just because you haven't been in one that's got 550 horsepower. So so here's the thing. You could come down here, and it's funny you're saying this. Are you a college football person or a football?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought so, because you were saying Big Red. I'm just, but in Omaha, there's really not much more to talk about than Cornhuskers. Anyway, so my wife, I don't know if you knew this, Tamara is actually, you should know it, because she came to meet up, and remember, all she did was sit and watch college football. She never even came in the room. She just stayed out in the lobby watching the college football. And here's the thing. So she's like into this. This was the whole thing. And then last year, the decision was that because we moved to Nashville, and our houses, remember I told you our house is a lot smaller than it used to be. And so she was always like, we need a bigger bonus room. So what she ends up doing is she and I agree that instead of having a bonus room, let's have an outdoor, like one of those amazing outdoor areas, right? And so we went and bought the jacuzzi tub, put in this huge like deck. Like the whole backyard is now like, I don't know, you call it like the hardscaped. And I have a built-in fire pit that is like 4 feet long, and has like dual burners and everything. It's just like 170,000 BTU out. I mean, this thing's stupid, and with like a glass ring around it. And then I have this sectional that goes around it. Well, that faces the garage wall, and I went out, and my wife said she wanted to turn this into like an outdoor living room for football season. And so she kind of beat me up pretty hard and made me get the TV. Oh. And here's an interesting challenge for you, Jim. You like weather and you like technology. Well, guess what? Those two things don't tend to go together really well. And so outside, I have a 55-inch television with a sound bar on it mounted to the wall that has like the telescoping everything, completely weatherproof, completely, it is 3 times brighter than a normal TV, and it even has like internals in components that will cool it and heat it in the case that you have this. And even the sound bar is this way, and it's made by a company, so you can do some research here. It's made by a company called Sunbright TV, and they specialize in outdoor TVs. This thing weighs 100 pounds.
Oh, yikes.
It is massive. Like, but it weighs 100 pounds because of the fact, not because it's huge or anything. It's 55 inch. That's not massive in this day and time, but it is because of all the stuff to be able to keep it, you know, completely okay. I mean, it's got filters in it to keep it, bugs can't get in it, all that type of stuff. It's got anti-glare on the screen, so in direct sunlight is visible. And the version I had to get was the Pro version. So they have like 3 versions. They have the version that's outdoor ready for shaded areas. Then they have one semi-shade, which I can't remember the name of the other ones. And then they have the Pro one, which means direct sunlight, it's visible, and you don't have to worry about putting any shade. And that's what I had to get because I don't have any. It's like right where the sun goes down would be aiming at it. And it was funny because last week we were sitting there watching football, and it was so nice outside that my wife and I are sitting outside on the sofa, and on that little L shape on the sectional, I ended up falling asleep watching NFL preseason games. And I wake up and it's like 10:45 at night, and my wife is asleep on me, and we're laying outside because it's so nice outside. And then you got the TV, it's like sitting in your living room, and you never pass out, and you wake up and you're like, how long have I been out? And of course, the only problem was that now I have bug bites all over me.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So the next step is we have to figure out a way to get rid of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
gonna let the hold on, you hang tight. I'm gonna let the live folks go. Ladies and gents, thanks for coming out tonight and staying around for such a long time. Quasi, Ken, Emily, the other Ken. No, Ken, you're in there twice. That's weird. Mike and Peter, thanks for hanging around, guys. We'll be back again next Thursday. It'll be interesting. I'll have been in DC for the week, and we'll see you guys shortly. See ya. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.